a highly invasive, highly delicious plant today, Dame's Rocket, also known as sweet rocket. Think of it like arugula that tastes sweet. It's really, really good, really easy to pick, easy to identify, and it comes up even before the nettles, especially if you're in the Midwest like where I live. Dame's Rocket is one of the coolest, most abundant wild plants that a lot of foragers haven't even heard of. The taste, so it's related to arugula and mustards, so you're going to get a little bit of heat to it, but it's a mild heat. It tastes kind of like a mild mustard green, but there's a really noticeable sweetness that you get with it too. And it's an invasive plant, so if you see it, you don't have to feel bad about harvesting it and harvesting a large amount. And as you can see, this plant, and this is really early now, the plant can be all over the place. It grows in these big basil rosettes. It's easy to identify, and it's delicious. I'll show you how I harvest a few plants, but real quick, just look at how many plants there are. Like I said, this is an invasive plant. You can harvest as much of these greens as you want. How I'm going to harvest them, you want the young leaves, those are going to be the most tender. And when I say tender, I mean it. These things are crazy delicious. And they're probably the sweetest green that I've had. They taste like sugary. I'm going to pick through the basil rosette, and I just want nice looking greens. Some of them might be discolored or dried out around the edge of the rosette. You can pick those out, pick out parts of the previous year's flower stalk, which are good for identification because those are usually around. And just clip nice looking young leaves. And then when you find some nice rosettes that you can grab, just grab the whole thing by the scruff and cut the whole rosette. And just put those right into the basket. These greens freeze really well, and you can just harvest so much of them in a limited amount of time. I think more people should know about them. Now, as far as lookalikes, you have wild phlox. Wild phlox and garden phlox are edible as well. They don't taste as good as Dame's Rocket, but they're not going to hurt you. One way to identify it and separate the two is that phlox always has 5 petals on the flower. And I can see Dame's Rocket. Dame's Rocket will always have 4 petals on the flower because it is in the mustard family. And that's the 4 petals form the shape of a crucifix, which is where we get the name crucifer. And as you can see here, these plants really come up heavy, the prolific cedars, and they are invasive. One of the best ways to cook it is just use it in any recipe that you would spinach. Here I have it with a little bit of bacon, some wild onion bulbils, and hickory nuts. One of the first ways that I'll use it is just blanched and maybe drizzled with a little bit of salad dressing, like a cooked salad. Lemon juice and olive oil is fine too, but if you get these young and tender, they're just really going to be an excellent, excellent green. And last but not least, there's a couple different edible parts. Obviously, you can eat the flowers, you can eat the greens. The shoots are like a small vegetable. You break them off when they're tender. As the plant grows, it kind of gives you more and different gifts. But the unopened flower buds are probably my favorite. They'll have different colors as they grow, and they'll get little purple hues to them. And those you can cook like you would a little small broccoli or something like that. So there's Dame's Rocket. I hope you go out and try some this year if you haven't. Thanks for watching.